I'm not sure why, but these days our lives seem to get busier and busier, and we get more and more stressed. I've just met a woman called Christie Pinto from Crystal Clear Horizons, and she has some great techniques to help us get over our stress. Hello, Christie.
Hi, Karen.
I am fascinated to find out all about stress and how to get over stress, because in my life I suffered a lot from anxiety, more generalised anxiety disorder, and I do know that it's hard to relax sometimes and get rid of stress. But why are people getting stressed?
Well, Karen, I believe that one of the key reasons is we live up in our heads. There's so much to do all of the time. There's so many demands on us from our job, from social life, from other engagements, from the kids. And because we're in our heads, we've actually lost connection with our hearts. Right? When we live from our hearts, life is a lot calmer. It feels a lot calmer. But when we live up in our heads, which is what we do in our society these days, things get very busy. Our brains get very busy, and as a result, we produce adrenaline and cortisol. And this is what causes the stress in our lives.
So how does adrenaline and cortisol affect our bodies?
Well, especially cortisol, when we're releasing a lot of it, because we're always busy, the more we think, the more we have to do, the more adrenaline and cortisol gets released. What happens after a time is that our body starts to actually react to the cortisol. So specifically what starts to happen is that it wreaks havoc in our systems. For example, our digestive system doesn't work as well as it could. Our immune system stops working as well as it could. We can have problems with, for example, ulcers if it really gets severe. We can have problems with heart and heart palpitations. And for females especially, it affects their reproductive system. And even if they're not in their reproductive years, it can actually still cause premature aging and increase the aging aspects.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible, isn't it? And I love that whole thing, aging fearlessly. And I do see so many of my friends suffering from stress. And there's so many things we've got to learn now with technology, and we've got to keep pace with our work, and we've got to work longer. We have to try and have enough money to survive financially. And then we try and pack in a little bit of free time, which I know for me, I'm very time poor when it comes to giving back to myself. But you have some great techniques. Tell us about the techniques that you have. For if I was feeling really stressed now, what would you be able to show me that would help me to de-stress?
Okay, well, I've got a really simple technique I can show you immediately, Karen. So if you want to have a little go with me.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, okay. So what you can do is if you close your eyes and breathe in to a count of 6. And then exhale to a count of 9. 1, 2, 8, 9, and then repeat, breathing into a count of 6 internally in your head. 1, 2, and 6, and exhaling to a count of 9. 1, 2, and repeat that for a count of 5. So we won't do that now. But can you notice, just through taking those 2 breaths, how much slower your system feels?
Yeah, my shoulders dropped. So I stopped carrying that stress in my shoulders.
Yeah. So that's a yoga-based technique where it actually slows your system down and it also helps you detox.
So in detoxing, how do you mean by detoxing?
So basically, if toxins have built up in your system from stress, it starts to remove that and help the elimination.
Honestly, we have such complicated bodies, don't we?
Yes, absolutely.
This machine that we have, that we lack appreciation for, is quite amazing.
Yeah.
You mentioned to me earlier you have another technique. Can you explain that one to me?
Okay, well, with this one, it addresses what I said right at the beginning about why we get stressed, because we're in our heads and not so much in our hearts. So this one I actually called the heart breathing technique. Right? So again, if you're willing to join me, I'll demonstrate it right now. So you can actually do this pretty much at any time of the day. But you take your hand and you take your hand and place it on your heart. And again, close your eyes and take all of your awareness to your heart, feeling the warmth of your hand on your heart. And as you do that, just notice how soothing that is already. This is actually giving yourself a bit of self-love at the moment. And now for the second part, imagine that you're breathing in and out of your heart. I know we use our lungs, but in this instance, we're going to imagine that we're actually breathing in and out of the heart. Take a deep breath in, exhale. And another breath. And as you do that, notice that that area starts to feel more expanded. And do that really for as long as possible.
Wow, it's quite an amazing feeling, isn't it?
Yes.
What if I'm at work and I do that, Christie?
Well, with that one, I guess you've got to be careful in case people think you're having a heart attack. So, yes, maybe warn the people around you. But if you can find a quiet spot somewhere in your workspace, or even when you get home, then that's all you have to do, just for 2-3 minutes, and it will work wonders for your system to de-stress you.
They're great techniques, and thanks for sharing. I am concerned in my life just how much I'm in my head. And, I know other friends have been talking to me about meditation and really being in touch with your body and, listening to it more often and listening to your heart. So about your Crystal Clear Horizons, what can people find working with you?
Well, what they'll find is, first of all, what are the actual causes of their stress? Right? What causes them to be up in their heads? Mm-hmm. So once they've actually identified that, the next stage is to say, okay, well, what can be done about that within their lives? What can they change? Mm-hmm. And I help support them through that process of change by showing them tools and techniques that they can use to start to feel less stressed and more connected with themselves and with their lives.
Well, I hope that the people that are watching our video today find some help in these techniques, because I think they are wonderful techniques, and they're techniques that we can carry with us, like as if we've got them in our pocket and pull them out when we need to use them. So, Christie, it's so great to meet you and chat with you, and I need to know more about Crystal Clear Horizons. So, yeah, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.